Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And the question of today is, what country are you guys watching from? Are you watching from the US? A lot of you guys are. Or are you watching from the Netherlands? A lot of guys are as well. Let me know your country down below, and let's get on with the video. So the first thing comes from Bella, also known as XRP Mommy, over on Twitter. Gonna give it a little bit of a follow. If you ever question XRP use case and adoption, just remember Ripple has been working with the banks since at least 2012 to create a product that would properly suit them. And today, they're valued at $10 billion. I think they have it all figured out. Rome wasn't built in a day. And I actually think she has a very solid point there. Because if we start to think about it, Ripple had an idea, had a vision. They've been around for a couple years. Let's say that they're at max are out there for 8 years. They've already built themselves a $10 billion valued company. That's pretty damn heavy if you think about it. And also the plans that they have to disrupt the whole space. We're only a couple years in, and we're already pretty damn far to revamping the system with all that they got planned and Pay ID and everything right now we're talking about. Really, the Internet of Things and the Internet of Value, I guess, is coming up like crazy. Now, Lord Sausage Beast also posted something on Twitter just now. And by the way, if you are enjoying the daily crypto videos, please support the channel by pressing the like button and subscribing. But he said, Yoshitaka, or at least he mentioned Yoshitaka, will we see SBI using XRP in a big way from tomorrow? With a picture attached of the infographic that was posted by SBI VC Trade a couple months ago. And it said here, SBI VC Trade is preparing various measures to expand its business, anticipating revisions in the Payment Services Act, etc., that are scheduled for enactment in May 2020. So that's, of course, scheduled for May 2020. A little bit before that, at the end of March, was SBI Holdings presenting XRP as a shareholder benefit. And now up till June, it was the smartphone app. And now he asks whether or not something is going to be coming up big tomorrow. And I'm kind of wondering exactly where tomorrow came from or what's been planned or what's going on. And if you guys have any idea, put it in the comment section down below because, again, we got to get together here and figure out all the facts. I could not really find out exactly what he was trying to say. So if you guys knew it, put it down below so we can help each other. An article just now, Ripple executive says Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP hit with surprising levels of hostility to innovation. Ripple CTO David Schwartz says surprising levels of hostility in the crypto community are hampering the growth of the industry as a whole. During the virtual Blogdown conference, Schwartz said crypto owners tend to get tribal due to their desire to earn a return on investment, showing remarkable levels of animosity towards rival technologies. To quote, I think the one thing that is kind of surprising to me is the sort of hostility to innovation in a lot of the space. A lot of that comes from people who have invested heavily into a project, and I can't talk about the cryptocurrency space without facing the reality that if you think Bitcoin is going to take over the world, you probably own some Bitcoin. If you think Ethereum is going to take over, you probably own some Ether. And if you think XRP Ledger is the greatest thing in the world and everyone's going to use it for everything, you probably hold some XRP as well. Schwartz explains the implications of cherry-picking the perceived flaws of a digital asset. If someone tells you, hey, Bitcoin has this problem, or Ethereum has this problem, or the XRP Ledger has this weakness, if they're right, then you will perceive yourself as losing money. What happens is people dig in very, very deeply, and nobody is invested in the project that doesn't exist yet, and so there's this sort of hostility to innovation. Schwartz cites Bitcoin as an example, explaining why investors of the King coin may not welcome improvements in other cryptos. Because, of course, realistically speaking here, some Bitcoin holders don't like other coins excelling because, well, no shit, Sherlock, Bitcoin is not the best coin out there for almost anything. It's basically just the oldest and the best, quote-unquote, safe haven and most, traded one or whatever you want to call it. It's the biggest one. But it's not the fastest, it's not the most decentralized or anything like that. So it's not going to win in a lot of regards. And, there's the bottlenecking issues. The Lightning Network is something that enhances Bitcoin's usability, and so if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you like the Lightning Network. It is good innovation, whereas if Ethereum is improving its scalability and you could perceive that as a threat to Bitcoin, you would sort of perceive that as bad innovation and you wouldn't like it. That's, for example, if you're a real big XRP fan, really big holder, and Stellar all of a sudden came out with a 50,000 times speed increase where it could just do unlimited TPS on Ledger, something really kind of crazy, and become 99.9% decentralized all of a sudden with great governance and great new way of, doing things. Yeah, people would really start to kind of stray away from XRP over to Stellar, possibly. At least that's what you think. And that's why you could feel hostile to that movement as well. I can understand it. The Ripple executive also says that he experienced the same frustration phenomenon and lack of unity in the legacy financial system. All the existing banks and financial institutions want you to build on top of their existing technology because that's what enriches them. The same thing has happened in the cryptocurrency community. People are now saying, no, build on top of Bitcoin because I'm invested into it. Or for the same matter, build on top of Ethereum because I'm invested in it. Don't build new technologies that are better or that threaten the incumbents. Bitcoin was like a radical movement, and now it's the institution that people don't want you to threaten now. And yeah, I really see this. I really enjoy, I really like what he said just now because I completely agree. Now, another question is how does this affect us, really? Well, it affects us in the sense that I just explained here. If you're a big XRP holder, you're most likely not supporting Stellar's massive growth. And in the end, this mentality kind of puts us down for global adoption or for at least further innovation on the bigger scale. Because if everybody decided to really just kind of thumb down all new inventions outside of Bitcoin, we would never see an altcoin. If everybody were to be against everybody, we would never see a new altcoin because, well, they're invested in Bitcoin and they don't want to take the risk. Now, again, that would also mean that a little bit of the competition that's going on right now for coins to further improve themselves all day would kind of slip away because the threats are not there anymore. And I see this, the way we're viewing it, as just extraordinarily good. I see it very, very good for coins as well. See it very, very good for projects because I see it with the vision of, well, if these coins hate each other or the holders hate each other and they're just, not accepting the new adoption by their coins, they don't like it, they're hostile towards it, that means those coins will really, really try their best to improve more heavily because as we've seen before, one thing is for sure, bad publicity is publicity too. But another fact to it is, if people are hating on your project, that must mean you're something, and that must definitely mean you're up to something as well. And also, from another perspective, if you are up to something, and the holders of the coin, the rival coin, I guess, do not like it, well, that's more of a push for these rivals to also push their own currency, or to try get something done there, because, well, you don't want to be left behind, right? And especially the founders or the upper class of the coin who rule it, so to speak, the foundation behind it. Well, yeah, they're most likely going to think as well, like, all right, and I'm comparing XRP and Stellar here once more. Well, Stellar's getting this new upgrade. Well, we gotta think about what we're gonna do here to make sure they don't win this market all the way over. And that really drives a lot of innovation, which you also have in traditional markets as well. I mean, for example, let's do cars, right? Let's do, for example, cars. If there's two in our country, our speculative country here, there's two car companies, completely equal in every step, and one of the car companies decides to put 10 extra mile radius, or for example, something like that on the car, or something even bigger, 50-mile radius on the car extra, or something, just think about something like lower gas emission by quite a bit, or something like that, or the price goes down a little bit. The second car company is also going to be like, a lot of our customers are going to go there. And maybe, let's say, for example, it's a nonprofit, so possibly the car company doesn't care. The two look aesthetically different. Now, all the fans of car company one are like, no, we don't want that in car company two because, well, people are going to buy less of this car, right? Or I guess that would even work better if you have buddy systems or something like that. But you guys get me. that would also mean they're going to most likely pressure that company to get the same type of upgrades or more to make sure they're still ahead in the competition. All right, moving forward, Crypto Eddie, June 9 podcast. Former MoneyGram manager, now global head of consumer business at Neum. Ripple XRP audio partner. Asked why Visa invested in millions. One reason, because of getting access to Ripple clients and their ability to quickly implement the technology. And that's just one fun fact that I kind of want to reiterate. Now, there's I guess a couple of discussions going on here. I saw some other guys talking about this before. My thought about, I guess, the whole situation, specifically about why companies would invest heavily into partnerships with Ripple. That's one thing, but also why Ripple would invest into partnerships with them, and how this whole ball is rolling is most likely a lot more because of connections than we might have thought. And a little bit down below in this one right here as well, we're seeing here that all companies, they want to do what's good for themselves, right? They want you to hop on their system. And of course, if you have a new gaming console, you want people to come over to yours instead of you having to switch over to a new one because, well, that would hurt you, right? And you're like, oh, just come to mine. That would help me out because you get more benefit out of people joining you than you joining somebody else, which costs you money. A lot of these banks have the same type of friction and the same type of goals and mentality in that sense. Now, for XRP, of course, that is not the best thing. For Ripple specifically, that's not the best thing either. But that's what I believe why they're investing so much money in a lot of these things, is because it really benefits them to get the partnerships where it would otherwise not be possible. So it's kind of I wouldn't say a little bit of a submissive move. Ripple's like, all right, if we couldn't get the partnership traditionally with just us agreeing, to using my system, let me pay you for it. You use my system, which will ultimately benefit everybody. And of course, we'll get the ball rolling further for more partnerships for Ripple along the way. And a little while ago, people became really, really mad at Ripple paying MoneyGram to utilize it, right? Or something along those lines. Now, for a certain part, MoneyGram is also bought partially by Ripple, right? So that's, I guess, why it's also a little bit less bad that they spend money on MoneyGram. Because, if you're owning a part of it, it's less bad if it makes you more money back. But also, what if they didn't pay him and MoneyGram would use it, right? I guess the utility from the payments is more than the payments itself. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. And the same thing goes for what can happen in the future and why Ripple would invest into other companies and why they would spend it all. It's because the utility is higher than what it costs. And you get the ball rolling a lot quicker the more companies you kind of can get on, and the more companies you can kind of talk over to using your system rather than trying out theirs. Even if yours is clearly superior, as I just explained with the console system, even if let's say for example the PS5 and the Xbox, the newest one, I don't know what the name is. Even if the PS5 were to be really, really superior, which some people think, it's a good example. Some others are still going to have Xboxes and they'll still want you to join theirs, even though you're like, but the PS5 is way better, right? And I can offer it to you for maybe cheaper or something like that. It's going to be way better. Just use this one and join me. He's like, well, no, I have an Xbox. Screw you. Just join me, bro. It's, just join me because he has the highest benefit of that. And it's the same thing we kind of see here. But then if you were to pay somebody a little bit extra to use your PS5, it might have you a little bit more benefit than you having to buy the Xbox yourself all the way, or really getting rid of the benefit of the PS5 all the way. It's a little bit of a strange comparison, I think, but hopefully it makes the story straight as to why I think it's really, really good for Ripple to pay them all, because otherwise, again, it's a very strange industry here. And Ripple's not paying all, I think, is just paying parts wherever needed, because of course, they, with their freaking billion-dollar company, can strategize better than I can here behind my laptop. I'm assuming that much. But that's why I'm kind of justifying why they would do such things, and also kind of justifies this last part of where, it's really difficult for people to join you because everybody wants you to join them, and how they're doing a pretty good job still. Crypto Pennyco says on Twitter, reminder, XRP will be the bridge asset which serves to connect all assets on ledgers through the interledger protocol. The unpopular truth, which most do not see during this early time of the adoption, is the total dominance which XRP will attain in the future. All right. That's actually a pretty interesting statement to make as well. But yeah, there's a little bit of an infographic attached to this as well once more. And it shows the money networks, or at least the most popular ones here through their, I don't know what the name is exactly for right now. Moving on through XP Ledger, kind of going everywhere, literally everywhere. Yeah, pretty damn interesting if you think about it as well. There's at least there's a couple possibilities that XRP is going to get everywhere. However, this is a pretty big infographic, pretty big goals, pretty heavy one. To a certain degree, I guess it's possible because, platforms, it doesn't necessarily need direct integration, right? For example, with Apple Pay, at least how I'm thinking about it as payment platform, they probably wouldn't use XRP to make those processes or make those payments. At least I don't really think so, that Apple Pay will have anything to do with XRP. Same for Alipay, they'll most likely have their own currency. Same for PayPal. I don't really see in any sense how they could have any benefit or how they'll even think about using anything surrounding XRP. However, it could be that maybe, Apple's subsidiary in one country might have to send money over to another country, which might then again utilize XRP. That's a possibility. Or maybe for some other payments, they will use RippleNet and not necessarily XRP specifically. That's also a possibility. However, there again, a lot more options are going to get open nowadays, now that ID Pay and things like that are also coming out. A lot of these, or Pay ID, a lot of these things are now coming up, which open more doors to more kind of potential new customers and new clients and new utilizers. Like, for example, Amazon, Rakuten, Alibaba, and whatnot, eBay, all those actually have gotten themselves a lot closer to a deal with Ripple now that they got PayID up and running. That's one thing. But also, now that they've advanced such a little bit, and they for example, set their specified target for RippleNet, or at least ODL, to e-commerce and SMEs and whatnot. E-commerce here, well, Amazon, Rakuten, Alibaba Group, they're all really, really good contenders for exactly that purpose. And to a certain degree, drop shipping, right? If we're not talking about Alibaba, but for example, you're talking from Alibaba to the new store to somebody else, those are what's really gonna, go and get heavy. But most of people who drop ship, I think, are gonna get it from Alibaba to one of these other platforms. Yeah, that will, in the end, maybe with a couple of extra steps, might actually include XRP all the way then, even though it might not be directly from one of these big ones. It might be indirectly. It might be also from Amazon resellers. Some crazy things might happen. Who knows? Bitcoin, $50,000 next stop. XRP not a security. Couple cool points within this article. Trump's mistrust. Again, that's that a couple years ago he didn't like Bitcoin. Regulation, XRP is not a security is what they said. Enterprise stuff was kind of stupid. And is Bitcoin like oil? There's some good speculation going on about what type of coin Bitcoin really is. Is it more like gold? Is it more like oil? Is it more like stocks? We still don't really know. And those are some questions I want to leave for you guys. And by the way, if you are enjoying the daily crypto videos, support the channel by pressing the like button and subscribe. This article is kind of messed up. Let's skip that one for now then. Cardano long-term price analysis. Well, just wanted to remind you guys again, I'm holding Cardano, still being pretty damn happy about it. And I guess I'm a pretty happy holder. I still have some very good foresights for Cardano. And since the pace they're working at is still ridiculously good to just splendid, I don't really see any reason to sell my position or to get out or anything like that. I've really been quite happy. And again, ADA is a long-term goal. And this next month, or at least July specifically here, is really going to show to us what Cardano is capable of. Especially the end of July. I don't remember exactly, or if it's 22, 25, or 29th of July, when Shelly is officially kind of done and over with. I don't exactly know. But at that point, again, we're going to see what Cardano is made of. It was all this talk for a very long time. Now we're starting to see the real material. It's kind of the transition phase right now. It's actually really the transition phase. In a little month here, we're kind of done with that, and we really have the real deal. And I'm wondering if people are going to sell massively or if they're going to stick with it because of the fundamentals. Really, really wondering, really kind of interested, but we'll see. Guys, that was it for this video though. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And of course, I will see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care everybody and have a very, very nice day. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe.